BBC's Marr shames panicking Ed Miliband over fishing betrayal as Labour begs EU for deal. The BBC's Andrew Marr questioned why Labour would accept EU demands as a desperate Ed Miliband begged Boris Johnson and Brussels to agree a last-minute Brexit deal. The former Labour leader suggested Britain should accept EU demands in order to avoid a no-deal Brexit. A clearly panicking Mr. Miliband said that no deal is the worst possible outcome as he declared that Britain needs a deal. The BBC's Andrew Marr grilled the MP on whether Labour would accept giving up British fishing waters in order to appease EU negotiators and strike an agreement before the end of the transition period. The BBC host said, "You know, to get a deal Britain would have to give way on its territorial fishing waters. Would you accept that?" Mr. Miliband responded, "Both sides have to compromise. I don't accept that logic. It's give and take. We have to be tough in relation to fish. We have to get the best deal we possibly can. But our fishing fleets rely on selling into the EU markets. It would be a disaster for them to get a no deal. Let's get a deal." Mr. Marr followed up, "Would you accept being tied to the single market in perpetuity in order to get a deal today?" The senior Labour MP said, "I want us to have high minimum standards on workers' rights and the environment. What do we have to fear?" The BBC host fired back, "You sound as if you would accept the EU demands on the so-called ratchet clauses. That means if the UK diverges from the EU on standards, there would be fast, punitive tariffs piled onto us." When Mr. Miliband said Labour didn't know whether that is the proposal, Mr. Marr snapped, "That is the proposal." The BBC host added, "You are giving me a speech, and I want an answer. Would Labour accept a certain loss of British sovereignty today to get a deal?" The shadow business secretary responded, "You are taking their frame. I don't accept the sovereignty argument, Andrew. It's our national interest to get a deal." The furious BBC clash comes as UK government sources suggest that the terms on offer from the European Union continue to be unacceptable. Earlier this week Boris Johnson warned a breakdown in trade talks is now very likely and set the end of Sunday as a deadline for further progress.